welcome to the Second Win Boxing Media. I'm your host, Rashid Hammond, and alongside,
It's your boy, Mr. Hit the Like button, sub to the page. Caesar Fantastic.
well, today we have a very special guest in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Me and this brother, we go back to 1995. I saw him fight for the first time, I think, was at Sugar Ray Leonard's boxing gym. And you talking about one of the slickest boxers I seen come out of there, the Laurel area at the time. At that time, he didn't have no fights, but it looked like he had 20 fights. That's how slick he was as an amateur. Ladies and gentlemen, we have no other than DMV boxing legend and legendary promoter, Tony Jetta. How's it going, Tony?
Mo better, Jetta.
Mo better. Yeah, it's going great. Thanks for having me on, Rashid. And yeah, we're really, super excited to be on and, thankful for what you're doing for the community and all the fighters that you do have on. Such a good thing, because I know the fighters enjoy being on. So thank you.
You're welcome, man. Anytime. I thank you for putting on extremely very great boxing shows, not only locally, but regionally. I went with you, traveled with you up to Philly, and we're waiting to go with you when you go to Atlanta and whenever else places you're going. Me and C's plan on going with you all up and down the Eastern Seaboard. So I appreciate you for giving these fighters a platform to fight on a higher scale level. Not only are you putting them in fights, you're putting them on a show that most fighters with 4 and 5 fights and 1 and 2 fights don't get to be on.
Yeah.
So we thank you for bringing these extraordinary shows, man. Me and C's look forward to them every time you have them. We can't wait to get to them. So I thank you for giving these fighters somewhere to fight at.
I was talking to somebody that's in boxing, somebody that is upper level boxing, and we were talking about the, bigger shows, and I never realized there's only like a handful of guys outside of the major networks that could do 3,000-4,000 people, like around the country. Like there's only how many people? We just said 3,000 at the casino. There's only a couple people in the country that could do, with, minus the major cards. Even when Lomachenko came to MGM, there was only like less than 4,000 there.
Facts.
So like we're doing huge shows. So yeah, we're going to continue to grow. We do shows all over. We're definitely a regional promoter. We will go to Atlanta. It looks like it's going to be April 29th. Got the kid Elijah Pierce, who's knocking on the door for a title. We're just a couple fights away, hopefully getting him his first world title crack. And that kid is electric. Have you seen the footage of him sparring Tank when he was 17 years old?
Yeah.
Oh my God, like it's crazy. And Tank is Tank. Tank is one of the best fighters on the planet right now. But literally a 17, and I get that Tank was younger also, but dude, Tank's been Tank forever. I've known Tank, we've forever, and he's been Tank. And Elijah was really doing his thing. So we're really looking forward to getting Elijah going. We'll be in Allentown May 13th. I got the kid Francis Oren. So we're really continuing to do our thing. We're looking to come back to the casino July 15th.
Okay.
My guy Chambers has a big fight coming up April 8th. And we're waiting to release that. But, I got him. I took a kid that had 8 amateur fights, 8 novice fights. He had them like 10 years earlier. And I got the kid now. I know and he is tough. He's improved tenfold. Like it's incredible how it is. I mean, he's really become a good, tough pro. Like he's gonna be a hard out for anybody. But I got him into a good money fight. We added it up after this fight coming up. He'll have made over $50,000 in his career.
Wow.
Kid's got 10 10 pro fights. And I,
Yeah.
I get it. Doesn't sound like a lot, but a lot of these kids, they're delusional, and they're a lot of them are really good, but they're never gonna make real money. Like,
Mhm.
And
you
now
know,
that's a lot, really, if
That's a
you
lot
look at it
for
in
your
this
first
day
few fights. Yeah.
for man, I remember in the 90s, guys was making
yeah,
$200 a fight.
yeah,
The five,
Mhm.
for four
yeah.
rounders,
I
four
put
hundred
on
dollars at the most.
I put my fourth win on the internet a couple days ago. I was fighting in a gymnasium.
Yeah.
Like, I was
Yeah.
fighting in a
Right.
gym, like some crappy gym.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm putting these kids in one of the best venues in the country.
Yeah.
One of the best
Yeah,
in the country. Definitely on the East Coast. Like, we're giving them one of the best venues in the country, and
I
we're
agree,
paying them
man.
incredible money, and we're giving them a percentage of their ticket sales. A lot of these other shows, they're fighting for ticket money, whatever the case may be. And we're really the game we've come with has been incredible. Like,
Yeah.
to the fighters and to the people that come and watch shows, because we've been putting on incredible competitive shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
C's got a few questions for you, man. I'm gonna let him take over, man, and he's gonna start off and ask you a few questions, and I'm gonna come in on the back end, man, with your career a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Gotcha.
gonna go a little. I'm gonna tap your career a little bit. So before promoting, you were pretty nice boxer. What drew you into boxing?
What drew me into boxing? I lived in Laurel. I went down to the Laurel Boys and Girls Club, and I just ended up going into the gym one day. I stumbled in there, and the rest is history. I was like, this. It was intimidating to go into the gym, and they're hitting the bat. Like, it was incredible. I was like, dude, I gotta do this. And the rest is history. I started training right away. I had my first fight within 3 months. First fight at Sugar Ray Leonard's gym in Palmer Park.
Mm-hmm.
Then the rest is history, man. I just kept fighting, and I lived for it. And I started boxing when I was a teenager. I think I was 15, about to be 16.
Okay.
So it was, something that's all I wanted to do was box. Like, I didn't want to do anything else. Like, everything about boxing was just my life. And it's still a big part of my life now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
thankful for boxing, because boxing has given me so much. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
incredible what boxing has given me. But yeah, that's sort of the long answer is I just stumbled into the Boys and Girls Club. So I'm a product of the Laurel Boys and Girls Club.
Okay. Now, how was your amateur run? How was your amateur career? How was that
Uh,
experience?
I'm a two-time open class Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia Golden Gloves champion. Um, I had 84 wins, 16 losses. I had a good amateur career. I got to go around to a bunch of national tournaments. I went to the Marquette, to the all comers camp. I was up there for a couple weeks, so I got to do some really really cool stuff.
Nice.
Um,
Nice. Okay.
but
And then after the amateur career, what drove your decision to turn pro?
just I think the transition from amateur to pro, everybody that has a bunch of amateur fights, most of the time want to transition. They want to try to become a world champion. You
Okay.
know, and that
All
was
right.
it. Like, I tried my best. I never achieved it, but I came just to make it to where I did. Like, we were just talking about the money. I made a couple $100,000 paydays. I made a
Nice.
bunch of money in my career, and like, people, like, they don't understand like how. And I did that myself. Like, we managed my own career. I didn't have Al Heyman. I didn't have Bob Arum. I didn't have any of the other. We did that. I was able to get myself world rated not once but twice.
Okay.
In the top
Yeah.
15 in the world, and we were able to, you know, really have a productive pro boxing career. And that, I think that's what drove me into promoting is, most fighters want to become trainers. Like, I feel like it's just like the natural transition. You become a fighter, and then you become a trainer. And then Me, on the other hand, like, I didn't want to be like, I know boxing. I had 100 amateur fights. I had 28 pro fights. I'm not saying I was the greatest, but I was a better than average fighter. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I did well. Like, I did well enough, and so I know how to train people. I know how to box, like
Mm-hmm.
how to tell somebody how to throw a punch, but I wanted to promote. I didn't want to be a
Yeah.
trainer, you know.
Yeah. So
And
when did you start
well,
promoting?
so
Oh,
we
no, go ahead. Go
started.
ahead. What you saying?
No. We started promoting while I was boxing because some of the promoters were not the friendliest. They weren't trying to
Mm,
help us out. So I took my retirement money out. I cashed my 401k out.
okay.
People like, they always think that I was giving stuff or whatever, but I actually cashed my retirement out and started Jetta Promotions because in Maryland I have like 25, 30,000 liquid to do it, like to do
Mm-hmm.
one show, and every show
Wow.
afterwards you got to have that money in the
Yeah,
bank.
that,
So we had
Yeah.
to, I cashed my retirement out. We started Jetta Promotions because some of the other promoters, they weren't like Jetta Promotions. They weren't nice. They weren't trying to pay us the
mm-hmm.
right money. They weren't trying to get us the right fights. And I'm thankful in a way because here we are now. But I
Mm-hmm.
actually fought, promoted, and did the matchmaking on some of the
Mm-hmm.
shows I did early on. I would promote my fights. I would do the matchmaking, and we would fight the main event. It was incredible. I'm the only person in the state of Maryland, I think, to do that.
Wow.
To do
Yeah.
everything. And then we would clean up afterwards because they'd be small shows. I'd be
Wow.
picking trash up. luckily,
This man.
I never got my butt kicked. But
Right.
yeah, we'd be picking trash up afterwards. I'm like, dude,
Wow.
like I should be celebrating. I'm
Right.
trying to clean up now. You
Yeah.
know.
So how was it juggling all three of those tasks though at the same time? Working on training for a fight while you're promoting the fight and trying to find matches for every other fight while you're working on trying to
Yeah.
train for your fight. Yeah.
It's tough, very
Yeah.
tough, because especially early on, my wife she was a help, but she wasn't like right now, she's incredible. Like
Mm-hmm.
she probably doesn't even need me now. She could probably just push me to no, little we joke about this, but I think at this point she knows enough now that she could probably push me to the side. She
Yeah.
probably doesn't even. I'm thankful I have her as a partner because she is
Mm-hmm.
incredible. And she's a good she evens me out, evens
Yeah.
us out. But
Yeah.
yeah, like it very, very tough to juggle all that at the same time. And then I'm fighting trying to win because we're trying to get to the money.
Yeah.
So in
Yeah.
order to get to the money, I gotta keep winning, gotta continue to go up the ratings. And at that point, we're trying to get higher ratings. So yeah, it was very, very difficult, super stressful. Pro boxing, I liked amateur boxing way better than I did to me personally,
Yeah.
because when I did amateur boxing, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Pro
Yeah.
boxing at the end of my career, because there was money on the line, it was stressful because
Yeah.
every fight was, yeah, every fight was a situation where if I lost, I'm out of the money. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let me say this one thing. See, everybody that I know say the same thing you're saying about the pro boxing game, including some trainers and managers said the same thing. Like, when you in the amateurs, it seems like it was all about fun,
Fun. Yeah.
trophies, and it was just
no,
no business involved. It was,
It's
but
freedom.
soon as once you sign those contracts and go pro, seems like all the fun just zaps out of the sport for some reason. So
but I'll tell you, Rashid. Also, I didn't have me helping me. Like
yeah,
literally, like we we are we as a promotional company are good for the fighters because I know what I went through. I know what I had to do. I know, and we try to do better for the guys that we have.
Yeah.
Brandon Chambers. Like I said, you can look at Brandon Chambers, how I've treated Brandon Chambers. Monteberry Condé, he should have been on this fight card. For whatever reason, he wasn't, but we've treated him well to this point. He was
Yeah.
he was in another situation. He was at a standstill. We brought him on, got him some fights. I think I got him 3 or 4 fights. You know, same thing with Joe VZ.
Yeah.
And then you go look at all the people that we've helped build up. Jakeem Hutchinson. So, we have really been, good to a lot of the fighters. So,
Yeah.
All right. We got a question in chat from Pitbull Boxing. He says, are small time promoters dependent on keeping their relationships intact with bigger promoters like Hearn Aram and Al Heyman to survive in the business in order to get their fighters on bigger cards?
I mean, if you have, for those bigger shows, like I said, we're going to have Chambers on the show. I mean, the more shows you do, the more relationships, like our relationships in 2023 are tenfold what they were when we first started boxing in 2008, because nobody knew who we were. Now sort of people know us. Like I can make a phone call to people now, and if I don't know somebody, I know somebody that knows them. Like it's like 5 degrees of separation. Like I can get in contact with anybody if I want to, And I feel like the more shows you do, the more active you are, the bigger, the more you'll become. And we've been super active. That's why I try to tell these fighters, I try to put this out there, and I don't know what it is. I feel like sometimes I just feel like the people in this area, like I don't know what they had, like blinders or what, but you want to get with somebody that's going to be active. You want to get somebody that's going to be, that has track history, that you could look at what they've done, what, you could see how they've been, moving, and, we've been super active. We're going to continue to be active, no matter who we're with or where we're at. Whether it's, at a casino or we're in downtown or we're in Atlanta, or do we go to Oklahoma? Do we go to New York? Wherever we go, Virginia, we're looking to go to Virginia now.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, you want to be with somebody that's definitely going to be active. So back to the point, though, I think the bigger promoters are the bigger promoters, but you definitely can keep a relationship with them because they'll know who you are because you're doing shows, and they might want to use some of your people or vice versa, however the case may be.
All right. Now, the dynamic of being a promoter who has worn the shoes of a fighter, does that have a positive impact on your promotions in terms of knowing how to move a fighter and matchmaking and stuff like that?
It does, and we had talked about. I talked about this to somebody else earlier. Just because I was a fighter doesn't mean I'll be a good coach. Just because I'm a fighter doesn't mean I'll be a good promoter. Just because I'm a fighter doesn't mean I'll be a good manager. But what a lot of people do in this area, they want to be the coach, they want to be the manager, they want to be the promoter, and they suck. Like they make horrible decisions. Most coaches want to be managers. That's just the way they do it. And a lot of them sign guys to managerial deals. Like it's great. It's like just be the best coach you could be. Literally, I don't want to be. I know how to coach somebody. I know boxing. Like literally, I'm a 2-time Washington D.C. I went to the Nationals for the Golden Gloves. Like I didn't fight at 106. I didn't fight at super heavyweight. I fought at 47 and 54, the toughest weight classes. I didn't have one fight to get out. I had 4 and 5 fights to get out of this area. So do I not know boxing? No, I know how to show somebody how to win, but I don't want to be a coach. I want to be the best promoter I could be. And a lot of these guys, especially the new guys, like they're like hell bent on being like a manager, a boxing coach. You're like, bro, just like be the best coach you could be. And then they want to talk stuff like, like, bro, be the best coach. I mean, that's truthful.
And it's been going on like that around here for a minute, where you got these these trainers, they end up getting 33% of the people's purses and ridiculous amounts of money because they playing so many positions, coach, manager, so they really taking all the money from the fighters, basically.
Yeah. Me, Rashid, I just want to be the best. Like, we're still learning. Like, we've been doing this for a while, but we still have a long way to go. Like, I don't ever like, I'm never gonna walk around like, we're still trying to grow, man. We're still like, and we are growing. From where we were to where we are now, it's incredible. And I feel like we could do a show anywhere. I could do a show. I go to New York. I could do a show anywhere. I don't need to just stay at Rosecroft or Maryland Live, or I could do a show anywhere. It doesn't matter. We're just like I said. We're about to go to Atlanta. We're about to do a good show down there. I'm gonna give my kids some work. We'll go to Allentown, PA. I haven't been to Allentown yet, but we got a nice little venue up there to seat about 1,000. And 1,000 is a good show, a good little club show. You do 1,000 people, it's pretty decent. You do 3,000 people, you're doing big things.
Doing numbers,
yes, indeed.
You do 3,000 to 4,000 people, you're doing big things.
You're doing something special. Yeah, that's
very few people in this country. I'm telling you, I was just talking, like I said, somebody that is way up, and they told him, they're like, yeah, Jeter, like, you there's only a handful of people that the major shows are doing big numbers. Then you come down, very few people can do that next level. And we've been doing it on a consistent basis.
And one thing that's noticeable about your cards is the matchmaking and how evenly matched all the fights are. Is that a conscious effort on the part of you to have the fights being so evenly matched?
I mean, I think you want good matches, but sometimes, I mean, I think it's just the Maryland Commission. I mean, we're in one of the toughest commissions, and if not the toughest commission in the country. I don't feel like I disagree with a lot of the ways that they enforce. Sometimes I feel like, and I want to be politically correct in what I say. I don't feel like a kid that's making his pro debut should be in some tough war. I don't feel like a kid with a couple fights. I mean, I feel like these, and obviously I don't feel like they should fight kids in bicycle shorts and tennis shoes. Like, I feel like they, but I don't think they should be in life or death either. I do feel like you should be able to gradually, I mean, if you have a sure enough high level, elite level kid, then you don't care. You should, but if you have a kid that, had a handful of fights and you're just trying to build them, but he's showing promise, but in Maryland, it's tough. So I think it's sort of like, it's like the commission and us, like, well, so, but I think that's sort of what it is. But, it is what it is.
It is.
We have had, the fights have been incredible.
Amazing. Everything.
That last show,
that was incredible, man.
I mean, that whole show was, and it was a lot of fights, but it was exciting from Scarborough, Outlaw, Vince Mosca, Micah. Micah looked incredible.
Man, I was impressed with him for him to be just coming over from MMA. Dude. I was like, oh no, he's nice.
No, literally, the kid Keenan, I heard he had been training hard. I was like, oh my gosh, like the kid Micah. And Micah just dispatched him like it was nothing. He looked
easy.
Right? He looked good. And, so the whole card, Jakeem won his first little title. And I was happy for Jakeem. We like Jakeem. All Jakeem's fights have been with us. Every fight he's had has been with us. And we were happy for Jakeem. Jakeem is a good kid. A really good kid.
Yeah. I watched his growth as well. Like, him and Brody, both of them, I see them both when they come up together. Seems like it's the same symbolism.
That's such a good analogy right there. I do agree with that. Jakeem had about, 40 amateur fights. So he had more amateur experience than Chambers, because Chambers only had a couple, a handful of amateur fights. But yeah, no, Jakeem has really got. I feel like from when he started to now, is like a totally different fighter, and I feel like the sky is the limit for him. I truly believe that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And
Now,
he's boxing much better way better than when I first saw him. So
Well,
Mhm.
one more thing too. He's such a good guy, like college graduate. Like Jakeem is an incredible person, and we always mess with. We want to work with Jakeem, but we like Jakeem just because Jakeem is a good dude.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
no matter
Mhm.
what, we're always gonna like Jakeem. And I'll tell you, Jakeem, and then I'll get off of Jakeem. But I love Jakeem always smiles. Like
Yeah,
yeah. He
he
do.
I
keep a
did
smile on.
He do.
He do.
when I
Yeah,
yeah, I always smiled when I boxed. Like I'd be
yeah,
at the weigh and I'm like,
yeah.
I never did the mean mug. Like I always smiled. I
Yeah,
like Jakeem.
yeah. Good
But
guy, man. Great
Yeah, he
guy.
good dude. So you had your pro debut versus Irvin Fuller. How did it
Mhm.
feel to be promoting Irvin Fuller the third's pro debut?
It was cool. I mean, Irvin is a good guy. Like, I mean, he's a church guy. Like it was an honor to have his kid on the card, and his kid looked good.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he
did.
Like his kid had a real fight. His kid looked good. We would love to work with this kid. His
Yeah,
kid looked incredible.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
that kid is going to need somebody to work with him. Like, like in once again, like this area, like somebody's going to have to be in charge and really work with him and get him the right fights, you know.
Mm.
But I liked his kid. His kid had an exciting style and all. But would it feel like to work with Irvin? No, it was cool. Like
Yeah.
Irvin, when me and Irvin fought, it was 22 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was some punk kid from PG County, and like I was some amped up punk ass kid from PG County. But yeah, it was really good. It was, like I said, it was an honor to have his kid on, and we were
Yeah.
super happy that his kid looked incredible.
Yeah, he
Like
look good. He
he,
look good.
that's what I felt. I felt like his kid looked really good.
he did.
He had a good fan friendly style. Went to the body, threw good
Yeah,
hooks. Like so I really felt like his kid looked good.
Yeah.
But once again, like somebody, you're gonna have to really, and I get it. You got Ernesto, like once again, coach, manager. Like I don't want to be a boxing coach and a promoter. Like I want to be just a promoter. But like I said, like I know more than most of the coaches that coach, because I've done more in boxing. Like I had 28 pro fights, I had 100 amateur fights, like, so, but yeah, I feel like that kid, I feel like he could do really well, but they got to really be careful in the fights they make with him, as he grows into a good pro. But I do feel like he has a bright future, and the
Yeah.
kid is fan friendly. That's right there. So if somebody works with him and takes him along the right path, he'll be a star.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
Okay. Now, speaking of stars, Jada Promotions has some guys with some real star quality. What are some of the things that you look at when you're looking at potentially signing a fighter?
We like working with good kids. That's the first thing. We don't want to we love just working with kids that are just going to stay out of trouble. But at this point, we are trying to work with like high level kids. We're trying to, work with some high level kids. So yeah, we got kid Elijah Pierce. I truly believe Elijah Pierce is one of the best 122 pounders in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Bar none. Bar none. Like that's
Yeah.
bar none. I don't care what anybody says. nobody, that's why I'm going to go down to Atlanta and do a show, because nobody's going to fight the kid. So
Yeah.
now we're going to have to hopefully we'll do a little regional belt, and then we'll definitely get him in some type of rating, because we're probably going to have to force a fight with this kid because nobody wants to fight him. But yeah, we have a bunch of kids. The kid Monteberry Condi, he didn't end up fighting, but I feel like he has a good promising future. Joe
Yeah.
VZ,
Yeah.
Bazooka
Yeah.
Joe.
So
We
yeah,
got
he's
Victor.
star
Victor,
quality.
yeah, really star quality. He's got where they say he's got the complexion for the connection, and, but he could fight.
Yeah, he can
He's
fight. He
tough
can
with it
fight.
too.
He can
Got
fight.
Oh,
skills though, man.
Yeah,
He
he could
got
actually fight. He was a Silver
skills to
Gloves
pay the
champion.
bills.
Just with the
Yeah.
bills, yeah.
Yeah, he
Now,
can go
one thing I
in.
did want to ask you was, like you mentioned Victor. How's his rehab going?
I literally just thought Victor is a great guy. I mean, he went to Dartmouth. He was a star football player, incredible athlete. So right now I said, typically it'd take like a year, but sometimes athletes can come back a little bit sooner. So right now he's just trying to rehab and just work through it. But
Okay.
Victor is incredible, and literally,
Uh,
what Victor's been doing recently, it was unfortunate that he's gotten hurt, but I truly believe this would have been a huge year for Victor.
yeah.
And Victor has good power, good skill, good speed, and I truly believe that we continue to guide Victor in the path to get him to the next level. I believe that. I still believe that. He's just got a little bit of setback, but we'll continue to move him. Let him recover, get a little bit a little bit healthier, and then we'll see which way he wants to move.
Okay. And we got a message in chat from Heyru Carter. He says, if you decide to do a senior fight, sign me up, bro.
Superman, one of the best guys in this area. He definitely should have been a world champion.
Yep.
For whatever situations happened for him to stop his boxing career, Heyru was incredible, and that was like another guy. I guess he was a little bit before me, but like the level of guys that we had coming up at that time were incredible. And this goes back to the point I was trying to make earlier. A lot of these guys super talented but never make no real money. Like, dude, Chambers, he'll have 10 pro fights and he'll have made over $50,000 in his career. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, and people believe they could scoff at that. He's gonna end up making over 100,000 in his career. The kid had 8 amateur fights.
Wow.
You know what? He's never one time. He's been with me the whole time because I've done everything I said I would do. Everything I told him I would do, I did. And he's never one time questioned. He's never, and the guy had 8 amateur fights. People lose sight of that. Literally, when we announce this fight, people will hate and say whatever they want to, but Chambers has earned everything he gets at this point. He's earned because he's fought. We haven't just given him ducks. Like, he's been in some tough fights recently, and he's ready. He's gotten way better. Him going down to Mustafa's Grindhouse in Atlanta was the best thing that happened to him, because he had high level sparring on day to day down there, and they were it wasn't baby time.
Yeah.
All right. So other question I want to go, because goes, and this another question from chat. This goes into the next question that I wanted to ask. He asked, Pitbull Boxing asks again, does mid-sized promotions make their money on the gates and sponsorships, and is there a need to get TV deals with TV networks and streaming platforms to go big? I wanted to ask that because I wanted to ask you, was there any thought of getting a regional TV deal, being a regional promoter?
TV at this point is so incredibly hard. Gordon Hall with Showtime Showbox, I just talked to last week on the phone. Like, now they call me, I call him. Like, so I'm not that far off from that, and that's the level we are. But I'll probably do Fight TV next time, but we could do streaming at any point. But it's like I'm not gonna so I got to do a streaming company. Like, we're looking to get paid. I'm not looking to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And TV right now is at a minimal. Like, you got ESPN, you got Showtime, and then you got the Zone, which is a streaming app. That's the same thing. So TV at a minimal, but I think I'll get Showbox. We're not that far off. I'll probably get some of my guys on Showbox, and then go from there. They've definitely called me about a couple of my guys, which is a good thing. Like 2 years ago, Gordon Hall wasn't calling me. I didn't have Gordon Hall's direct number, and not that I couldn't get it because I'm in the game. Everybody is like 5 degrees of separation, but it's a little bit different now because we are doing really good shows and we're active, and that's what I look. I don't want to beat it, but it's like a lot of these local people, they don't understand, like, the activity is so important. You get with a promotional company, you better hope your guy is active. You want to stay active.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be on, and you want to be on a big platform. I tell people all the time, what's the kid, Derek Davis? He just fought at Rosecroft. So there were 700 people there. He had 300 was his, so 400 got to see him. He could have fought at La Casino, so he could have had 2,700 people see him fight.
Mm-hmm.
Big difference. Big difference. He could have brought his 3, and then he could have had another 2,700 people see him fight. And that's what I try to put out there. Like, we're putting people in a position that they gain new fans. They could gain new sponsors, because we've had Kevin Lerone was at the show, Marlon Humphreys. These are like all major people, sponsors and stuff. And you never know who you're going to run into and who's going to take a liking to you at these shows.
All right, and the last one I got from chat as well. Says, sorry to get off topic, get off the promotional side, but what was Tony's experience going to Europe and fighting Eubank and Nielsen in UK and Denmark?
I made a bunch of money. What was my experience? The Eubank, the Patrick Nielsen thing. I thought I was crushed about Patrick Nielsen, and I tell people boxing all the time, you're never going to go into a fight 100% healthy. Like, people, it's a contact sport, and you train, you spar. So you're always going to be nicked up. I was hurt before I went to Denmark, but I still thought I was going to do way better than what I did. So I was crushed on that one. And then when I fought Eubank, I was 39, almost 40. I was a month and a half from being 40 years old. Eubank was 21 years old. Just for me to get to that level, like, people, they could skulk at, the result, but to get to that level, like I said earlier, these guys are not going to make more than $5,000, and some of them are like national champions. They're like elite level kids, and for one thing or another, they're going to get derailed. And I've seen so many guys locally it happen to.
Yeah.
Like, I was able to make it to that level and get that type of money, And I was upset. I was disappointed, but I fought a 21-year-old Eubank who's been numbered in the top 3 since then. And when was that fight? That was 2014. It's 2023. He just lost. That's almost 10 years he's been in the top 3 in the world. So like, I feel like, to get to, like, people, especially people that don't know boxing, they look at fights like that and they, like, they degrade or whatever. But you're talking about some of the best fighters in the world right now.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't somebody at Patapsco Arena or, like, this is like the best in the world.
And
just
young,
to get to that,
you on that level.
and we got ourselves to that. Jetter Promotions, at that point, I was I was Jetter Promotions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why, you know, I feel like we will get Pierce to that level. We will, and anybody else that we continue to help, we'll be able to get them because we have the experience to get people to that level. And we, you know, we're making more contacts, we're doing more shows, we're doing bigger shows. We know how to do them. But yeah, it was a good experience in the sense that, you know, I made it to that level, but it was a bad ending, super bad, super bad. It didn't end well, but I am proud that I was able to get to that point because a
Got
lot of,
there.
like I said, a lot of these guys
A lot of
are
people
not
won't.
gonna make it. They're never gonna make it off this local level, and if they do, they're gonna make it and get some short stuff.
Mm.
My career, I made a bunch of money for a kid that, you know, I never won a national title. I did a bunch. Went to the nationals, but, you know, I was okay. I was probably a little bit better than okay. I was above average.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. I'm gonna say, if y'all in here, hit the like, hit the sub, and see what you got.
Yeah, man. I've watched you from day one, you know what I'm saying, from the amateurs when you first started.
Mhm.
Where do you see Jetter Promotions in 5 years from today?
Oh, even bigger than what it is now. And like you look 5 years previous until 5 years now, like we've doubled. And I could see, and we're gonna continue to grow. Like that's the one thing about me, Rashid, is I'm never satisfied. Like I'm always every show, like I'm on to the next. And I feel like I don't get caught up like in the moment. Like I'm always thinking 5 steps ahead. And I feel
Right.
like a lot of people, especially in this area,
Yeah.
they get caught up in the moment. And I'm always thinking in the future. What's
Yeah.
my next move going to be? So yeah, I feel like we're going to be even bigger than where we are right now. We will. You know, I told my wife like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I said, we will get a casino. You
Yeah.
know, and she probably thought I was crazy. She probably, well, I told her, speaking of that, when we were fighting on the undercard of Jimmy Lang when I was a 4-round fighter. I told
Yeah.
her I could beat Jimmy Lang, and
Right.
she looked at me, and she never told me I was crazy, but she's told me recently. She said when you said that, she was like, you know, I thought you were nuts.
Right.
She didn't actually tell me that, but she did. Recently, you know, you're talking
Right.
about one of the most devastating punchers in our area.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Lang was incredible. But where do I see Jetter Promotions? I truly believe we're going to grow. We're going to be way, way bigger. You know,
Yeah.
our opportunities will be greater than where they are now. And I know, like I said, like 2 years ago, Gordon Hall wasn't calling me. I wasn't calling Gordon Hall.
Yeah.
Now, you know, it's a lot different. You know,
Yeah.
why do you think that is? I know why. Because we're our level of shows, we've shown that we can produce TV quality shows.
Mhm.
You know, now we just gotta continue to build relationships. I feel like in boxing, it's like the relationships you build. And we're
Yeah.
still trying to build, you know, we're still trying to build with the fighters, still trying to build with the TV people, with you know, we're still building. And I do feel like me and my wife, like I said, my wife is incredible. And like I said, she probably doesn't need me right now. Don't tell anybody. But she definitely could probably push me to the side and just do it on her.
Like,
Literally,
let me
like,
take this.
Yeah.
right.
You
Yeah,
do a
no.
great job though, man. She hold it down. I watch her and her movements and how she moved throughout the
Mm.
place. She's everywhere,
Oh,
you
Mhm.
yeah.
know, working, man. You know, you everywhere too. Both of y'all
Yeah.
cross each other's paths sometimes.
Yeah. Right.
So, you know,
Right. Yeah.
I see y'all work. And let me say something, man. Since I've been doing this podcast thing, I literally been to about 6 of your cards, man. Literally, I think it's been about 5 to 6 cards. I went with you. I know I've saw Brandon fight about 3 times. I know I've saw gentleman we just mentioned as well, earlier, fight a few times as well.
Monzo.
Monzo, I saw Monzo fight about 4 times because I went to see Monzo when he fought in Philly.
Mm.
So, you know me, being of the boxing world, I think it's very ludicrous for fighters to not want to get involved with your company. These young guys are constantly fighting. They're like 8-0 now, 9-0, some like 9-1, but they're getting fights. And you know, I've been around this sport for a minute, and I've seen guys literally be on the shelf fighting once a year, 12-0, 12-year careers. So, for those that are out there that are fighters, man, I'm going to stamp this myself. I think you should reach out to Tony and listen. I've been on plenty of fight cards, and by far, the light show, the atmosphere, it gets no better than what this man brings to the table. I mean, literally, like the light show alone, like when I see these guys coming, I say, I wish we had that when I was coming up, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish we had this atmosphere. We back then, dudes, even if the brother Hey Ru's on here right there, Hey Ru fought at the Gold Room somewhere or Recreation Center or something back then.
I was lucky. My pro debut was at Michael's 8th Avenue, so we had about 1,200 people there. But then my second fight was at the Lincoln Theater, so that was cool in DC. Third fight was Dover Downs. My fourth fight was the Spectrum. So I my first 4 fights were good, but then I came back for my 5th fight, which was my 4th win, and I fought in a gym, like a gymnasium. Like
right.
It was, and then we had those type. I had a different level of fights. So yeah, like we've been giving these kids incredible. We go to Philadelphia, 2,300 is a mini. It's incredible.
It's a nice spot. Everything. I love that spot, man.
When we go to Allentown's a nice little spot we're gonna go to, you know. So we were in the casino, bar none, is probably the best venue in the country.
It is, man. It is.
I mean, nothing. I mean, that's why they have Dave Chappelle. That's why they're gonna have Chris Rock. That's why they have Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's gonna be there soon.
Wow.
You know. So, but I mean, we hope we want to continue to work with people. We'll continue to reach out to people, and you know, whether they do or they don't, you know, it is. You know, but we definitely want to work with people. We want to continue to grow, and we want people to grow with us. Yeah. Like I said, I tell people all the time, look at what the people are doing. Look at how many shows they're doing. You can look at with the internet now, like nobody can lie.
Yeah.
It's hard. You can't say something without having proof to back it up now.
That's facts.
So yeah, I mean, people can do their own research. I don't feel like people in this area do that though. You know, for one reason or another, and they're like I said, like I feel like you know, I don't know. I don't know.
Man, it's some of these guys just hopefully they'll come see and bear witness to it, you know, like I have, you know, and
want to get on.
But man, you're doing an extraordinary job, man. I appreciate you, man, for giving a platform for the future of boxing. Before that, I haven't been to any pro fights in many years. You know, so you know, it was an honor to get there and to be there. Me and Ray at the time, and now me and C's.
It's always an honor to have you, though. Like a lot of people don't, you know, the newer generation, they have no idea that you and your brother were incredible DC led. Like you were the DC legends. You know, they don't know that you were with Floyd Mayweather and all these guys coming up through the amateurs together, going to the Ohio State Fair, the national tournament, the national Golden Gloves, all these tournaments that you and your brother were a part of. So, to
Yeah.
have you come out like to my events early on, it was an honor. And I'm always like, I try to always show homage to the people, that show me homage though.
Yes, indeed.
I try to reciprocate the love that people give me, I give to them. If that makes sense.
That's it. All. That's. I mean. That's how it should be.
There,
That's definitely how it should be.
well, I don't feel like it's always that way.
Yeah.
Especially in this area, people are, I don't know, but I wanted to tell you one thing. You were talking about the Laurel Boys and Girls Club. I'm the last person at the Laurel Boys and Girls Club to go to the National Golden Gloves, right?
Oh, wow. Nah.
Yeah,
Didn't
so
know that,
that's
man.
been that. Yeah, so they try to, like, I know Thomas Williams at one point, but out of the Laurel Boys and Girls Club, I went in 2000. I was the last one. Me and Seki, we both went for the Laurel Boys and Girls. Crawford had two of us go. He had Smitty. Smitty
Okay.
at 178. He was light heavyweight. And he had me go. Smitty had beat Darnell Wilson, and he beat somebody else to go. And then I beat Spencer Harsley from the Headbangers at
Okay.
47 to go.
Y'all fought. I didn't know you were Spencer Fort, man. That's what's up.
Yeah. I beat Spencer that year at the regionals for the U.S. Championships, and I had a tough regional tournament. I fought Chris Kearney, who had beat me twice. I beat him, and he had made it to the finals of the POW tournament that year, so he was top 10 rated. Then I beat Spencer, who was top 10 rated. I lost in the finals to Mike Dargan, who was Carl Dargan's brother. Carl Dargan was like Pan American champion.
Yeah, man.
He was rocking Tiger Allen's cousin. Like, they were all together. And it was a horrible decision. I was the only person that tournament that had to fight all 3 days.
Wow.
Dargan got a bye the first time. I had to fight Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. Wow.
It was crazy weekend. But,
man. Man, one thing I forgot to discuss too, man. You and you just mentioned his name earlier, man. What's my guy name from Virginia?
Chris Kearney?
No, the other gentleman. You mentioned him earlier. You said your wife thought you was crazy. What's my guy name?
Jimmy Lang.
Jimmy Lang. Yeah, that's
Jimmy
it.
Lang. How could I not remember Jimmy Lane's name?
Incredible. He was incredible.
Quee. Oh, my bad.
Now, I was away from boxing, right? I saw that fight. You know what I'm saying? That's how powerful that fight was. You know what I'm saying?
People give me so much, like, they never, when Jimmy Lang fought me, this is what I heard. You could ask him. I heard that he had a fight signed with Austin Trout for the WBA 154-pound champion, but they had the date already. He had more knockouts than I had fights, Jimmy Lang.
Wow. Yeah, Jimmy.
So he had more knockouts than, so they were just going to collect a payday and then fight Trout. And, I was, happy that I got the win. I was in incredible shape. I fought hard all 10 rounds.
I remember, man. I was rumbling, man.
4 points in. I got dropped in the second round. I still won.
Yeah.
In Virginia, on his card.
Yeah.
He built the Patriot Center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like, that was his house.
That was his house. He wasn't lying.
You know how the work rate I had to have to win that fight.
Yeah, I can imagine, man.
His show in Virginia, at his house. Like, it was incredible. But yeah, Jimmy was incredible. I'm super thankful for Jimmy because Jimmy helped me make a bunch of money. So without Jimmy Lang, I don't get world rated.
Yes,
I don't get big paydays because I got to pay. I fought Jimmy and then I had a no contest or something. Then I got Patrick Nielsen because I was still in the top 15 in the WBC. I lost to Nielsen. I came right back, got a quick win, got, I think, another win. Then I beat Jimmy for the second time. Then Then I got another win after that, and at that point, I was in the top 15 in the WBA, WBO, and WBC, and then I got the Eubank fight. Yeah,
Yes,
so I
indeed.
made 2 big paydays, and like I said, a lot of these guys, if they get with the right people and they stay on track, they'll be able to make money. But a lot of them are not. They're not going to make more than 5,000 in a fight.
Yeah.
Maybe overall, but. And that's just the reality of it. It's so hard to get to that level where you're making a bunch of money.
That's a true statement, man. And you had all extraordinary boxing career, man. You now able to provide for fighters to get their recognition. I commend you, man. I appreciate you for coming on here. We have panels. If you into that, if you into the panels, you're welcome to come on here because I'm gonna bring some people on. I think I'm working on something for Thursday. I was planning on having a special guest come on Thursday, but I was thinking I might put a panel about the Tank and Garcia fight. You know what I'm saying? Because
So who do you think? So can you say who you think?
Yeah, I can. I can say. Yeah, I can.
You want to hear who I think is going to win?
Let me hear yours, man.
So I think Garcia's tough. Garcia's tall. He's got the style to beat Tank.
Right.
He's tall. He could lean back. I watched the podcast and somebody was talking about if he just stands tall, leans back when Tank punches, he could jab those right hand. He counter Tank.
Yeah.
I do believe Tank's gonna get him. I believe Tank is just you're talking about one of the best fighters in the world.
Yeah.
Bar none. I feel like he's got the experience, but I wouldn't be surprised if Garcia, but if I had to bet, I'd go with Tank.
Tank, yeah.
That's what I say. I said Garcia, he got a chance, but
he got a chance, but
he has his flaws. Then I think
Tank flaws in that. To me personally, I'm that knockout, that knockdown that he had. That's where I think that Tank can expose that.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason,
I think that was the white kid that won the gold medal in the Olympics.
In
the London Olympics. He can't get hit by a straight left hand.
Like that would Tank.
Luke
annihilate him.
Exactly.
Luke Campbell gave him the work.
Campbell, it was Luke Campbell. Yeah, I don't feel like if he gets hit with something like that with Tank, and Tank's probably the best finisher in the game right now.
Yeah.
Like he finishes once he hurts you, it's toast.
Yes, I agree, man. So yeah, we going to definitely clip yours and use this for your you know what I'm saying, your opinion on here. I'm gonna add this one day round down the road with a bunch of other legends. And we're gonna put something together. So I haven't found no one that went for Garcia yet. I'm still waiting for somebody to root for this guy. It's kind of hard too, though.
No, I'll tell you why though. Like I do think Garcia is talented. I think it's gonna be a really good fight.
I do too.
If you had to bet, Tank's got the experience. He's got the power. He's got the boxing IQ. Every category. So. In order for Garcia to win, he's got to be perfect.
Yeah.
He's got to fight. Tank does not have to fight the perfect
fight.
He don't. Tank could lose rounds early and
that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said.
There's no Tank can fight he could fight whatever fight he wants early on and then come on in the second half, and I feel like he could stop because Garcia has shown to get a little tired late. Yeah, he gets tired and lackadaisical with his hands down, his head straight up in the air. He's gonna get humble.
Exactly.
Nasty.
And Judd, I was stating that I said this fight I expect Tank to lose about 5 or 6 rounds. If so, he can lose many rounds. So it's gonna be competitive, but it's just like you said, one shot's just gonna end everything, in my opinion, as well. So.
And I don't feel like Tank gets the credit. He's such a good boxer.
Hell of a boxer.
Not like people forget he's a national Golden Glove champion.
Exactly.
Like he was an elite level amateur.
Exactly.
He
Right.
wasn't just some kid that knocked everybody out.
Nah.
Like people forget that because a lot
They
of these
do.
people don't even know him.
They don't know.
Like he
Yeah.
was
but
actually
everybody
a
around
high, yeah, super high level kid, like in amateurs. Like he was,
here. Yeah,
and now he's one of the best fighters on the planet. I mean,
I agree.
by Narn. So that's why I think it's going to be a great fight, and we might go out there to it.
I'm thinking about it too as
Mhm.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, I might go out there, but I think Garcia would have to fight the perfect fight
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah,
to have a
that'd be
chance.
perfect.
Yeah,
And
he's
I
gonna
just
have to.
I don't think his experience level and Tank's experience level is gonna. I think Tank
Yeah,
has got so much experience at this point. Now
yeah, I
Garcia
agree.
could win.
It's
Garcia has
possible.
the tools, yeah,
You do.
but I wouldn't bet on. I wouldn't bet on
I
it.
wouldn't bet on it
Yeah,
either.
I
I
wouldn't
Someone
bet
ain't.
asked
on
me.
it.
Somebody
I'd
asked me
say.
earlier, man, trying to get some bad advice. I was like, I'm not the one for the bad advice. I'm with Tank, man. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
I
bet
can't
on
give you
Tank.
the
And
odds now. You want to win some money, and you go with Garcia, and he closes
right.
his eyes and catch him, then you might get paid.
Yeah,
But that's all
I
I can
say
offer you. I can't.
one thing about Garcia is his speed. That hook, I still ain't see that hook he hit Fortuna
Crucial.
with.
Man, that joint's mean, man.
Hey, he could punch.
He can
He's
punch,
Yeah,
fast. He
man,
can punch. I think
and
he's
he's
like
fast.
5'10". He's
And
yeah.
he's
tall.
tall.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
the thing. That's the thing. But the
I
way he
I don't.
moved, that with that
Yeah.
chin up in the
that
air, is
chin be
just
up like
it's
that.
too enticing for Tank.
Man, Tank gotta catch it.
I just saw that Luke Campbell knockdown somewhere on social media or
Yeah,
somebody
Hmm.
played it, and I was like, yeah,
yeah.
Tank catches him like that.
He
There's
going to
no
sleep,
way
man.
in this world Tank lets him off.
You know what's
No
crazy
way.
is it's his knockout when he knocked out the guy from what's the guy name when he caught him with the uppercut, man.
Oh,
Of Santa Cruz.
Santa
Santa
Cruz.
Cruz, yeah.
I think he's gonna knock him out worse than Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz don't even be as straight up as Garcia be, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's telling me we might be wrong. Ask Oscar and him might see something we don't see. Hope we don't know, you know. So, but brother, it was
It's
an honor
interesting.
and a pleasure to have you on here, Tony. Man, man, I can't wait till the next show. I look forward. We're going to Atlanta. We're going
Well,
to travel down to Atlanta. I
so
want to
here we
see
go.
Elijah. I'm a top fan of Elijah's
I'm a
as
big
well as
Elijah fan.
C's. I really like the way that young man puts on performance. He's a killer in there. You know, he's a
So
killer, cold killer.
so real quick, I got two kids fighting next Friday in Wynn Casino in Bethlehem. I got Dutnell, who's tough as nails
Uh-huh.
from he just knocked a 5-2 kid out in Harrisburg. So he's fighting his only loss is Scarborough. So he's 3-1-2. He
Okay.
fights this Johnny Spell in the casino next Friday. And then I got Francis Swarm fighting next Friday also,
Yeah.
Okay.
who's 2-0. And then the 8th, I'll have Chambers in a big fight.
Okay.
And then we go to Atlanta. Looks like it's going to be April 29th. I'll probably pull the trigger in the next couple of days. And then we'll go to Atlanta, do a show down there. And then we're back in downtown PA May 13th
You rocking,
for
man.
the show.
Yeah, he
The
rolling.
You
13th. I'm
rocking.
excited. I'm excited
Ooh.
about Allentown. We'll go to Allentown May 13th. Then we'll be back at the casino July 15th. Then we'll probably go to Allentown again. Then we're back at the casino in October. And then so my wife last year after we did 6 shows, she was like, "Look, we gotta shut it down. I don't want to do any more. I'm gonna talk her into doing 2 more because I want to do November and December." She did not want. She was like, "Look, we're done." So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll
Yeah,
see if I can
man.
talk
You
to
got
the boss.
anywhere? You got anywhere where the people who checking this out can look at and follow you as far as to know when the fight's coming up and where they at?
Follow me on Jetter Promotions on Instagram. Jetter Promotions on Instagram. That's our page, and all the information will be on there.
Oh,
Jetter Promotions on Instagram, and yeah, we'll just continue to, build. And like I said, 5 years from now, 5 years before to 5 years now, our trajectory has been incredible. Like, I mean, we've been like a shooting star, and we'll continue. We've had good show after good show after good show, We've done it with all different people at this point.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll continue to build and continue to grow with the local people. We love the local fighters. We love helping the local fighters because this area by far is one of the best boxing areas in the country, in the
Facts.
world.
Hands down.
Yeah,
Facts.
yeah,
Hands
in the
down.
world, like literally,
Yeah.
like the headbangers, no excuse, like all these good Hillcrest, all these good gyms, the Cherry Lane, all these really good gyms. Mac Lewis Gym, Upton, all these really good gyms we have locally in this area. So we have some really good fighters coming out of here. So, hopefully we continue to build with the different fighters and you know, grow from there. And we also got Francis Scarborough, another great fighter, junior.
Yes, indeed. Did
Yeah,
an
we
excellent
didn't really
job,
get to
man.
talk about him, but I did think he looked
Yeah,
really good in his
he
last
looked
fight.
good,
Yeah,
man.
he looked good.
He's outstanding boxing. And speaking
Uh,
of that,
Nesto, Nesto just said
shout out to
Jetta's doing an
Nesto.
outstanding. Jetta's doing outstanding work with the boxing shows. That's
Yeah, I mean,
Nesto.
I appreciate that. Like literally, like I said though, I don't want to be a manager. I don't want to be a coach. All I want to do is be the best promoter I can. And then my job is to put on the shows for these kids and just continue to help these kids grow and get to the next level.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
you know,
All right.
Yeah, but man, we appreciate you, man. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you on here. For
Definitely,
those that's
definitely.
in here now, please hit the like and subscribe button. We on a mission.
Tap,
Trying to
tap.
get to 1,000
Yes.
subscribers. We need to be at 1,000 subscribers before March the 15th.
Hey,
We need to be at 1,000 subscribers by March the 15th. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Share this content to everyone because we bring the best of the best on this platform. World champions, great promoters, the great Hall of Famers. We had multiple Hall of Famers on here. 6, 7 world champions in 1 month. 4 Hall
killer.
of Famers in 1 month.
We've been killing.
That's incredible.
So
We've been killing.
please help us get this content. Now we're giving you like the information is that these fighters bringing to here, as such as Jetta just brought to us just now, it's like no other. So please hit the like and subscribe button and share this content to everyone in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank our special guest, Tony Jetta, the Second Wind Boxing Media. Peace.
Peace.